Very good evening and Kemcho, Gujarat, all the Gujarat that every Indian would know. That's it. So, teaspoons of change. I think I'm the only one who literally took the meaning out of it and tried brainstorming over what to speak to these little kids who actually watch this video. Schools are where we actually get our heads in the right place. I think that lays the foundation of, as an architect, I feel it lays the foundation to the high-rise building that we construct. So talking about teaspoons very literally today. The bigger picture, what am I talking about today? I think as a human, we always end up at every juncture answering multiple choice questionnaire. I think from the tiniest decisions like what to wear today, to how to do my hair, to where to go and which ride to take today, to the biggest and the most important decisions of what to study in my future, which profession to take, and also who to marry. They do become big questions, important decisions. But broadly dividing them into three basic questions, I think one that we actually answer is a what, and then a why. Any guesses on the third? A how. Not bad. So answering these typical three questions, let's come back to this in a bit. So talking about our entire universe, to Milky Way galaxy, to the solar system, to our very planet Earth. How constant are we on this planet Earth? How constant are things on this planet Earth? Having seasons, we shiver, we get drenched, we sweat. I think this is because of the revolution of the Earth. The simple rotation of the Earth actually gives us day and night. Can all of us survive a 24-hour daylight? I don't think so. Can we all experience night or darkness the entire 24 hours? I don't think so. And fortunately or unfortunately, the only thing constant on this planet is change. Edward Lawrence says that the flap of butterfly's wings in Brazil can set off a tornado in Texas. Funny, but yes. While he was on a coffee break and being lazy to actually put down 6 decimal points, he put up just 3 decimal points in one of the variations in an experiment of a weather forecast and realizes that, wow, there is a completely different result at the very end of the graph. And that's where he realized that these minute changes, a 0.03% of a change, a minute change, actually gave him a varied weather forecast. Similarly, a small tectonic, I think a very tiny, minuscule movement in the tectonic plates actually ends up creating an earthquake or as big as a tsunami that can wipe out cities. Also, did you all know that the World War III was prevented just by one man's decision? Again, funny, right? Oh, yes, it was. In 1962, Vasily Arkhipov, I hope I pronounced it right, he, being a Russian Army Navy officer, was the only one who decided not to launch a nuclear torpedo towards the US Navy. And that's how an entire nuclear exchange was prevented. And this is why he is known as one of the most important men in modern history. Just this one man's decision of not launching now actually does not leave the US and Russia as nuclear wastelands. Thanks to him. Just funny that while I was talking about this to an aunt and my mother, they said, of course, teaspoons are very important. Taking the word literally, a teaspoon of good curd while we are setting milk, while we're setting curd for the next day in the milk, would actually give us, depending on temperature, depending on the surroundings, depending on the atmosphere, depending on the darkness that you actually set your curd in. These small things actually give you a right curd or the right yogurt or the bad curd. So not all changes are good or bad. Depends on these changes. As simple as now, each of us actually inhaling and exhaling. The carbon dioxide that we are exhaling at this very moment, each one of us gives the carbon dioxide that you're exhaling right now actually gives the plants and the trees outside the carbon dioxide that is necessary for the photosynthesis. And this photosynthesis helps them to grow, and this, for the very next generation, provides oxygen. Now, time to see the bigger picture. These tiny decisions, these small things actually make us where we stand tomorrow. The decision that we make today, the small alterations that we make actually let us end us up in a place we are in the very future. And do we say that we do not know what future lies for us, what future actually lies for us? Just changing a small letter in the word change actually becomes a chance. The chance, the opportunity to change a lot in our very simple lives. Similarly, let me tell you a story of a young girl in college who was very scared. Put her on stage and her legs would shiver as if she was drenched in ice cold water and left in the North Pole. She actually pulled up her guts and went backstage to participate in elections that makes her a representative of her college. That very mindset of her just backing out was a second. It would have just taken her a second to just step back and say, no, I don't want to participate, or I do not want to give these elections. I am freaking scared of the bunch of seniors sitting in the audience who were bullying the others. But then she said, no, let me go ahead. Let's see what actually happens. She spoke. She won the elections. She did shiver, like she had mentioned. She did shiver, but finally happened to win the elections, represent her college in the largest student body organization for architects. And she addressed a crowd of 7,000 plus students at a convention, and happened to have students from Nepal, from the SAARC nations in Pakistan, and which actually gave her the motivation and the pull to not back down when there were auditions for Miss India 2017. And then got back boldly saying that, why should I fear this? And that small mindset of not backing down actually gave her to perform the way she did in 2018. And who did she share the stage with? Let's have a look. I need them to play this.
Could we please invite on stage contender number 30, Shreya Kamavarapu, Miss India, Andhra Pradesh. Hello. Did I pronounce that right? You were there. No, say it yourself again, just so that the world knows it.
Shreya Kamavarapu.
Kamavarapu. Oh, Shreya, you and I have so much. SR. There you go. Superstar already.
I managed to tell Karan Johar that I share the same name as SRK, my favorite. So from there to here was just a matter of a small change in my mindset. And now, speaking as the third TED Talk, to be very proudly presenting it in front of my parents today, ladies and gentlemen. I speak here, and the video was not shown in the actual on the actual telecast, but my father had taken that snippet, and I'm very glad about that. But to be very honest, I think the small, tiny decisions that we make today would really matter tomorrow. So I would really request you to give it a thought. Take these changes as chances, as opportunities of tomorrow, and forge ahead in life. Thank you so much. Thank you, school.